Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to this special Memorial Day edition of the FTN podcast. Drew there up in Switzerland and the U.S. flags. Uh, that's the transatlantic danger zone jersey, right?
It is. It's laundry day, so I'm just wearing what's semi clean.
There we go. I am just wearing a white hoodie, just cause that's all I have. But yeah, we figured we'd get on here for a podcast. It's been a while. We have nothing really planned. So we're just gonna wing this as we go through it. We'll try and keep it on the shorter side of things. Um, we are what 8 weeks into the season already.
40%.
40% of the way into the season.
How crazy is that?
It's kind of crazy. It's actually like flown really by.
I feel like I don't even have a proper handle on my team yet. I still don't know what to think of half of my players' performances this year. And what to expect from them going forward. So I don't know. This is flying by way quicker than other seasons, and we're going to be at the finish line before we know it. Um, Crazy year.
Yeah, what's I'm trying to pull it up right now. That trade deadline that we have is going to be coming up in a couple months here. Is it August 11th or so? So yeah, trade deadline's week 18. So what? We're 9 weeks away. This is week 9. We're 9 weeks away from hitting the trade deadline,
We're halfway to the trade deadline.
and we're about a month and a half ish away from the All Star break. So you kind of need to get a handle on your team sooner rather than later to figure out like if you need to sell some parts, if you need to go all out for a trade. I don't know. It's an interesting time in the league. It's just
Let's, I don't want to make this devolve into one of those infamous Bean podcasts
yeah,
where we just talk about teams and the need to rebuild in farms, but just something that you just said, which was, coming up on the All Star break here in a month or so, month and a half, and teams are going to have to be looking at should they sell, should they buy. Um, I guess coming into the season, I figured, in my opinion, both Jack and Max were like kind of teetering on the edge. If they could go either way, they should probably start to build out the farm a little bit. And then Max got off to this blazing start, and and he's still in first place. Kind of, a good lead over Adam in terms of games ahead. And then Jack is half a game behind Sean as of this morning, I believe. Um, and there's still a lot to play, but I guess I want to ask you this, and we can keep it like really simple, short thoughts for you, JD. But like Adam or not Adam, Max and Jack, which one do you think poses the bigger threat this season, based on what we've seen these first 8 weeks?
I think it's got to be Max. Um, he is personally my number one power ranked team. He's just he's been on a tear. He's been on a tear. All he does is kind of just win. He's kind of well rounded. We've brought this up multiple times. It's like, will he, won't he, sell, build up his farm? But like, he doesn't really need to if all he does is win games. Even last year, he won over 100 games, right? Even though he missed the playoffs, I don't know, he has a solid team. Um, and I guess the biggest question would be probably his pitching, because who knows what we have in Soroka.
I don't
Clay
think we have
Holmes,
anything.
yeah, the Clay Holmes experiment has been like, well, he kind of sucks. Oh wait, he's actually closing games again. Um,
Man,
like uh, that's really about it. Justin Steele has been a nice revelation for him.
I just pulled open Max's team page to just take another gander at his pitchers, and I noticed he is 2 for 22 today. Um, I
Yeah,
am 5 for 21. Jack, my opponent is 4 for 19. I like. Where's the offense on this Memorial Day?
just everyone's on the hot dog diet. It's sluggish today on the bases, I guess, and at the plate.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I think that's something I've noticed throughout the whole year. Like hitting is really inconsistent. I don't know if that's the pitch clock or what, because like you can have some crazy. Your team goes like 20 for 50 days, and then the following it's like they're 4 for 60. Um,
yeah.
it's just I don't know, it's just interesting there. I honestly should pull it up, but like how is Max's batting stats compared to the rest of the league?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sure they're up there. I'm sure he's top half in every offensive stat.
Yeah, I got
What
it right here.
Cedric Mullins and Jorge Mateo do to a motherfucker.
I mean, it looks like he's top four in almost every batting category. He's number one in OBP. So
Number one in OBP is maybe the most important one because that tells you that your guys are getting on base.
and honestly, it's not even
Which
close. His average is 351, and the team in second, which is me, is 334.
can Max maintain that with Mateo being back to Mateo? If
It's actually
Yandy Diaz stops being the best player in baseball, um, I mean, I guess I
Paul
don't even know.
DeYoung.
Are there regression candidates here? Xander Bogarts and Pete Alonso arguably could do better than they've been doing.
Is Paul
Justin Turner
DeYoung
would probably do.
overperforming? Well, he's
Paul,
kind of
yes,
regressed.
Paul DeYoung. Oh my
He's
goodness!
0 for
I'm gonna
18.
see. I don't know what the quality is gonna look like.
It's
That is
pretty
that is
bad.
over. That is
18.
over. My goodness. My goodness. Um,
Well, there's the regression.
there is the regression. Which, okay, maybe that'll lead us into our next topic. Which, we're winging this, so I didn't, I don't know exactly what this topic is, but let's talk about regression candidates. Who or what player has been in your mind way overperforming this season, um, and is going to come back down to earth because we've seen Matt Chapman and we've seen Jorge Mateo. Those are two that I have off the top of my head that like got out super hot starts to the season, and now they're like, they kind of are who we thought they were, and so they're kind of regressing a little bit. Is there a player that's been massively overperforming somewhere in the league that's driving a lot of success for one of our fantasy teams, and probably going to be an adjustment here sooner rather than later?
Christopher Morel.
Okay, that's fair. That I mean, all his damage was done in 1 week against me. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
And yeah, he's come back down to earth. Um, I don't know. Isaac Paredes? Is he a regression
Paredes.
candidate?
It's super unfortunate if he does worse because Perry needs players to do better.
Yeah.
How about the other way? How about like players that have been really bad that we expect like, okay, we know they can do better.
Gunner.
Okay,
That's the number one answer. I
but
fully
we
expect
have
a lot more.
he doesn't have a track record of success. Maybe he
That's
just is a bust.
true.
I think the big names are Michael Harris and Julio, but um, I don't
Yeah.
know. Is there another under the radar guy? I was just looking. I think Dylan Cease could be a lot better for Max, which is kind of scary. Um,
Is Kellenick for real?
um, I think based on what I've seen this year and based on what I've seen in the past, he'll be a 10-year, 15-year player in MLB. So he's not going to be out of the league anytime soon. I'm thinking a 260 batting average, 320 OBP, which would honestly feel like pretty good for him with 30 bombs for the next 5 years each season. Um, which is, I think, so. In other words, I think most of what we've seen this year is real from Kalanick. Um, but I'm not sure he's ever going to win an MVP award or even necessarily compete for one. He might be a
It's
two or
hard to
three
win an
time All
MVP
Star.
award.
What? How do you compare Kellenick in this year compared to, like, let's say early career Jock Peterson?
Yeah, I mean, I think. I mean, pretty similar, huh? It's a pretty good question.
That's what I think.
I I do love Jock. um,
I don't think Jock's rostered in our league.
I don't think so either. I don't know who owned him last. Um,
I think Sean did.
yeah. Well, it makes sense that Sean likes Jock and moved on. Now likes Kellenick.
Max most recently owned Jock. Actually,
Mm,
it was Joe, then it was you, and then Max. Max dropped him May 7th. He's
sure.
actually he's been injured with a hand injury. Well, we just wasted 100 seconds talking about Jock Peterson. Let's
I
move on.
know. We had to
Let's
sneak
move
him in
on.
there.
I know one thing you wanted to talk about, JD, was Perry, right? And
Yes.
and and it was brought up in the group chat earlier today, which was, let the kids play, but the only kid on the roster is Anthony Volpe. Okay, he's got some other young guys, right? Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo. But as far as prospects go, he tagged Ezekiel Duran as opposed to just calling up Duran, and I can't imagine anyone else in the league would be taking John Bertie's production overpaying Tin Bam to re-extend Ezekiel Duran. That just didn't make
Yeah,
sense to me.
that one was kind of perplexing for me, especially at a time where Corey Seager was out for several weeks. I mean, Duran was an everyday player at the time that Perry tagged him, and they continued to state that Duran would be an everyday player after Seager came back. So that was an interesting 10 Bam tag. It's kind of like a 10 Bam waste, in my opinion, similar to Jack's trade for Shea Langoliers, and then proceeding to tag him and then never rostering him and letting him
Yeah,
go.
I don't know what Jack was doing there. I'm pretty sure he would tell you that he didn't know what he was doing either with that.
He knew what he was doing, but I disagreed with it.
With Perry,
Yeah,
we saw him first week of the season drop Volpe and Jordan Walker back down to his farm.
yeah,
Um,
and I mean, looking at Perry's farm right now, we have Drew Waters playing in the majors. Francisco Alvarez is in the majors. Mark
he's the number three.
Vientos.
He's number three. Francisco Alvarez is number three
Yeah.
at his position for a positional rank. Um, he should absolutely be up.
Mark Vientos, another one. Matt
Yep.
McLean.
Matt
He's
McClain should totally be rostered 100%.
100%. Uh, he's going to have an interesting decision here on Zach Neto. Our
Is he on the
first
roster?
Neto is an everyday player for the Angels. And as you know, he is the first and I believe only 2022 MLB draft player. Uh, that has had any playing time in the majors.
With one caveat, that's correct. But did you see who got called up today?
Oh, I did not see who got caught up
By
today.
the same team as the Angels. I think it was their second round pick, or maybe it was third, fourth, or fifth. Owned in Sean's system, the
Was it
legendary
Ben
flamethrower
Joyce?
Ben Joyce got called up
Oh,
today.
wow.
So the Angels with two 2022 draft guys now on their active roster.
Um, and then the last one for Perry would be a guy that was recently caught up, Edouard Julien.
Right. Yes. Yes. And he's had 2 home runs in the last week. I mean, so if I was Perry, and I'm not managing his team. I'm not him. I can see the value in holding your prospects to the last second to see if some veteran instead like pops off and then you get trade value for him. Um, but that's not happening because if it was, Perry wouldn't have the worst record in the league. So maybe it might just be time to let's call the young guys up, see what they can do, what type of record they can lead you to in the rookie season, and go from there. Look, Ben has been calling up all his young guys, right?
Yep.
And and he had a 500-ish first 7 weeks of the season. Um,
Which I think is
I,
fine for Ben.
it's fine, and the point is it's significantly better than what Perry's throwing out there every week.
Yeah. It's his team name is Let the Kids Play, but he's kind of running it like the Rockies, and he's just letting the young guys sit in AAA right now. He's not letting them play.
We'll see. We'll see what Perry does. I think uh, maybe that's something Sean and Ben can talk to him about what his long term plan strategy is, right? Because we are expecting a podcast from them um, anytime. I know there are some scheduling difficulties, but hopefully that will be arriving to all of you guys sooner rather than later, and you can all get to know Perry, our new owner.
Yeah,
Um,
I
maybe
love it.
maybe let's shift. Sorry, go ahead.
It's he's only been in the league for a total of 8 weeks, so I think he's just in that stage of trying to figure out how to structure his team going forward. And I think that's the challenging part for him, having only 8 weeks as opposed to us being in the start of year 5 for everyone else.
Oh, Edouard Julien is up to bat. Ground out to second base
The
to end the inning.
Royals have ended the game with the Cardinals here.
Yeah, after throwing a combined perfect through 7 innings, they destroyed us. It's going to be Wayno's first loss of the season. Unfortunate. Okay, so let's shift gears here. Um, let's talk playoff picture, right? People always say, don't kind of wait until Memorial Day to look at the baseball standings, and that applies to real life baseball. But let's apply it to our league too, because it's even a shorter season. So maybe it's definitely time to take a look at this at a standings update. So as of today, your playoff teams would be Max with a bye, Sean and Adam going up against each other in the first round, and then JD you with a bye, and then a battle of under 500 playoff teams, Vinny versus Laffy. Um, that's 6 teams I just named, half the league. How many of those 6 that I just named will be in the playoffs when they actually start?
I am going to say 5.
Are you willing to put it out there which 5 you're taking and which one you're leaving out of the field?
Sure. I think Adam ends up winning the division and getting the bye in your conference. It will be Max, and he will be playing Here's the hot take. It's either Jack or Drue winning that division and not Sean.
It's not me. It's not me. Have you
That is my
seen my
take.
team?
It's going to be Max versus Jack or Drue.
He
Sean
who
will not make the
rosters
playoffs.
he who rosters Alec Manoa will not ever be in the playoffs.
Or he who rosters Brady Singer
Also
might
that.
struggle to make the playoffs.
Also that. Oh
Oh
boy.
man.
So Sean is going to be out of your playoffs is your hot take, which means
Sean is out of the playoffs. That
you think
division
it will
is
be
too competitive. I like Jack's team a lot. And I think you could be a thorn in the side.
I've never wanted anything more. So that means you think Laffy, yourself, and Vinny will be in the playoffs. Who's going to finish with the best overall record? So I'm looking at this. Adam's got a 619 win percentage.
Mm.
You have a 619 win percentage. No one else is over 600. Matt, or except for Max, who is almost at a 700 win percentage. He's at 681.
Uh, Best win percentage, Adam. Second best win percentage, Max.
Wow. So that's gonna be a neck and neck battle at the top of that
Yes,
division.
I have. Let me state this on record. No commissioner bias, but I have always been a fan of Team Adam. So that is out there.
The team Adam haters have been out in force recently because
Oh yeah,
it's just and I say the team Adam haters because a lot of times that just means like Ben, but Adam himself has been kind of a hater of his own team recently, and honestly, they probably are underperforming for how many superstars. It's maybe a little bit like a San Diego Padres situation here.
I could see that.
Obviously not to the extent of the Padres, but like, look, it's no doubt a little disappointing for Adam. Um, and I mean, I can't see him missing the playoffs.
It's
Um,
hard to. It's really hard to.
but you never know. It just takes two from my division.
Hmm.
And Sean and Jack could look if Jack were to beat Adam like 7-3 right now, like I think he'd overtake Adam in the standings. So it's certainly plausible that he couldn't make it, but I guess a little disappointing for Adam on the whole. But you
I
think Adam
I'm a believer.
or Max, the winner of that division, is going to have the best record?
Yes,
Let's talk 2 seconds about the New York division. Will they have a team that finishes over 500?
that is an excellent question because Laffy is currently like 7 games under 500. Um, he might be the hottest team in the league. Period. Right now, the last 3 weeks, 8-1-1 win over Joe, 7-2-1 win over Ben, 6-3-1 win over David. I mean,
And he has that momentum to carry into his singular matchup versus Perry
yes,
this week. If he like 9 1s or 10 0s that, I mean, first of all, he'd be over 500. Um, but second of all, I mean, he's just going to continue to put the distance. Hopefully this week. Um, I would love to see Laffy run away with this thing. If I'm being honest, I really want to see somebody take charge in that division, just win it outright this year. And if it's Laffy, that's even better because his farm, we've talked about it, his farm system might be the best in the league. And it would
take
just
away
be
the word
really
might.
good. It would
It
be a
is.
really, it is the best farm in the league. It would be really good to have a super, a super team in that division for once. It was not too long ago. Lappy finished with like 90 something wins. I think like, or was it 90? It was a good win pace.
Yeah.
When he finished with the best record, he has the best record like in that division's history some year.
Mhm.
Whenever it was like Ian Anderson's rookie year, like Ryan Mountcastle went off. Was that the first year of the league? Seems really early.
He
Um,
has made some. He's been pretty savvy on the waivers with some of his pickups. Taylor
well,
Walls
until
used to be
today when he
until
picked up
today.
Bybee.
Yeah, he picked up my prospect. But I mean, in general, Taylor Walls used to be his own prospect, but picked him
Yeah,
up after he graduated, was unrostered.
is he? He's not
Conforto
still.
last
Oh, he is
year,
still on his roster.
yeah, Conforto last year was not on a team. He's finally showing up within the last few weeks.
Taylor Wall, so many stolen bases.
Taylor Walls has been great.
He
Yeah,
Corey Seager grand slam today. It looks like. I think Verdugo's been good. Castellanos has been really good in May. Like really, really good.
his
Um,
his best pickup, and honestly might be the best pickup out of anyone in this entire league this year.
I know who it is.
Yeah, the revelation of Mitch Keller.
Yeah, it's look. His pitching still has Walker Bueller and Carlos Rodon on long term IL. When those guys are back, this pitching staff is just actually disgusting.
Yeah,
Taj Bradley today 0-1 ball game, doesn't get the win, but pitches 5.2, only 3 hits allowed, 1 walk allowed, no runs, 8 strikeouts.
I mean that's you'll take that any day of the week. You'll take that.
His bullpen's great too. Alex Lang, uh, Karinchak's been weird. Um,
Karinchak's been weird. He gets a lot of holds, but he's gonna kill you on the ratios.
yeah, he's been weird. He actually, you know what? He could use another bullpen piece. Yeah, he has Mark Leiter Jr. He's good, but he probably is one bullpen piece short. Laffy, go get another bullpen guy. Go really take control of this division. Um, I like his pickup of Brian De La Cruz too. He's been better. He's probably the best offensive player outside of Jazz on the Marlins. Um,
Well, one guy that is experiencing some regression, Brent Rooker.
yeah, for sure. He's going to be their all star though, right? Like who else is
Yeah,
going to be the all star from Oakland? It's got to be him.
it's not Waldachuk.
It's not Waldich.
So
Oh boy. Ben and Vinny, right? Vinny's under 500
sorry,
by
sorry.
half a game.
It's Vinny then Ben. You got to make the order
Vinny,
right.
Vinny, Vinny, and Ben. My bad. Vinny half a game under 500, 10 games back for the division. Ben 16 and a half games back for the division, but that also means he's only 6.5 back of the wild card. Um, let's briefly just chat. Ben has just does he have a chance at the wild card, or is is the slipper off Cinderella story kind of already over? It was a fun 7 weeks, and it's time for Ben to once again be patient, which he was by trading Gray Rod for Dalton Varsho.
Before Gray Rod graduated there.
I
And
love it.
this is
Thank
for
you, Pete.
Varsho, who has catcher eligibility this year, but will going forward will just be an outfielder.
His I saw some stats the other day in terms of runs, home runs, RBIs, and OBP. He's like top 10 in all of those stats among all catchers, but among outfielders, he's like between like 35 and 55 in all of those.
I mean,
So
I guess
he's
that's fine.
literally a jag. He's just a guy. After this year when he loses catcher eligibility,
I
Ben's
mean,
talking about me holding the bag on Gray Rod. He's holding the bag on Barshow.
does Ben have a chance at the wild card? Sure. I am a betting man. I would not be putting money on Ben to make the wild card. Um,
But let's focus on Vinny though. Like, what's wrong with Vinny? He was great last year. He should have been better this year. He's got Bobby Miller up now. What the hell's wrong with him?
uh, it's I just think he has a slow start. And have you seen his pitching? It's just been decimated with injuries. He also benched Marcus Stroman today, who pitched a complete game win.
I saw him put a message in the group chat, and I
Did you
didn't
see his stat
realize.
line? You want me to
Well,
read it to you?
I didn't realize he was being sarcastic. That is unfortunate.
Nine
I
innings.
mean, to be fair, he was playing Tampa Bay.
Yeah. That's fair. But I mean, last week he went 8 innings with a win. So I mean, I don't know. You start your studs. Don't get.
Man, Stroman's been so good. That's
I know.
crazy.
Start your studs. No,
How's Ron Marinaccio been? 4.1
I think he's
ERA.
been
Yeah.
he's been like inconsistent recently, but
Getting
he'll be
Ks.
fine. Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing with Vinny, he lost Robbie Ray for the year. He's lost Dustin May for
I knew Dustin May got hurt recently. I didn't realize it was a 60-day IL. So he's
no,
basically out
it's
for season again.
yes, essentially.
Unbelievable.
Knowing
Do you
Dodgers,
drop this guy?
they take it really slowly.
He was
Um,
having such a breakout year. I'm sorry, Vinny. On the bottom of my heart, that really sucks.
and then we thought he'd have support. Cade Cavalli, nope. Tommy John. Max Meyer, nope. Tommy John. It's just really unfortunate. We thought he would have some reinforcements, and he does, but it
And
just turns out
Machado
he
on
needs
IL.
Bobby Miller.
Bro, but his offense he should be better than this. Masataka Yoshida batting 303. Austin Hayes out here batting 322.
Honestly, his weakness might be that middle infield.
Dansby only 4 stolen bases is not what the expectation was coming into this
Yeah,
year.
Dansby's had a down year.
Orlando Arcia though batting 315.
315's great. I don't think he has the counting stats though.
He doesn't. Glaber's getting some counting stats. Mookie's not been himself. That's about as low of counting stats you can get if you're Mookie.
Like
Still
Harold
great. He's top
Ramirez.
5, but
Once again, Harold Ramirez. He has a 295 average, but like I don't know if he really contributes much on the counting stats end. He has 8 home runs, I guess.
looks like Vinny's just had some bad cluster luck as far as like just getting the short end of the stick on. I read this stat the other day. I didn't know about this. Jed Jerko. Do you remember Jed Jerko?
Of course I do.
Look, it looked like for those of you who don't know the pronunciation, it looks like Jed Giorco. If you remember that name, he played for the Padres, played for the Cardinals. Don't know if he played anywhere else after that. But I read the other day. I found out Jed Jerko had a 30 home run season with like 59 RBIs or 69 RBIs. Like that, I feel like that's Vinny. He's getting all these hits. He's got multiple players batting over 300, but they're not hitting in positions that are advantageous to the other counting stats. So I guess some empty calorie batting average a little bit, I guess you could call it. But with the types of guys he has, like Masataka Yoshida batting at the top of the lineup, you wouldn't expect that. So maybe Vinny a little unlucky on the offensive side of things, really unlucky on the pitching injury side of things. I expect him to keep his distance from being in the wild card race, though.
Here's Vinny's batting season stats: 8th in runs, 6th in home runs.
You shouldn't be 8th in runs when your batting average is that high. I'm sorry.
8th in RBIs.
Manny Machado and Austin Riley carried him in ribbies last year. Both of them either injured and or struggling this year. I guess it's not a surprise to see Vinny further behind in RBIs.
10th in stolen bases.
Yeah, that's not good.
7th in OBP. He's just
kind only 7th with all those guys.
And he's just kind of middle of the pack with the batting stats.
Well, Vinny was my pick to win the championship this year, so I'm kind of rooting for him to do better.
Will you still stick by that?
No, definitely not.
No, you are out.
If I could change my pick, I would.
You are out on Vinny.
My new pick would be JD versus Max. No, JD versus Sean. I think Sean would win that. I think his pitching strategy is just so advantageous compared to yours. And
Sean's?
Max's, Sean's is. I keep saying Max. I mean Sean. Sean's pitching strategy is just such a direct counter to yours.
It is.
And his offense is, I think, the best in the league.
Do you want me to read off my pitching stats compared to Sean's?
Well, You can say the numbers and the ranks, but like, come on, we can make it general, JD. Everyone
Yeah,
knows
I know.
you
I
get
just
you
go for
get you get
volume, and
volume.
he goes for ratios.
You get volume with strikeouts, and you sacrifice ERA and WHIP. You likely win wins, but it's not a guarantee. And Sean's going to get likely save holds. So in a vacuum, I think Sean wins pitching like 3-2 the majority of the time. Um, and so I take that when I think the offense is a pretty dead even split, if not slight advantage Sean. So that's where I'm at with that. Do you want to talk about real quickly, and we can actually maybe start to wrap this up? But you want to talk about the MLB draft?
Yeah, sure. So we are fast approaching, and that also means infusion time for the league, which everyone's gonna love, probably except for Drue, because I think Drue gives up all of his infusion to Beam.
Yeah, for Brian Reynolds, ugh,
Do
not
you
worth.
regret making that trade?
Brian Reynolds hit 5 home runs the first week and a half of the season. When I made the trade, he's come over. He's hit like one for me. I don't know, man. I like Brian
It's
Reynolds as a
unfortunate.
player. He's probably honestly, Brian Reynolds is probably the ceiling of anybody that you'd get in this year's draft anyway, in my opinion. But like, I don't know, man. 70 BAM, no infusion. I'm sitting out the draft for like the look. I got Joe Bay one for 31 year. That's the only participation I've had in the draft in like 2 to 3 years. So I don't know.
Um,
I don't know.
but yeah, let's. I'll quickly go over it. So it's just it would be interesting. This is our first, I guess, quote unquote, first draft with our new rules of not allowing any ban bids on future draft prospects until they are actually drafted. So it'll be very interesting. And so arguably five of the top seven guys are already owned. Dylan Cruz, Chase Dollander, Jacob Gonzalez, Max Clark, Walker Jenkins,
I'm gonna try to share my screen here. Hopefully,
all
this doesn't
owned for
mess up the
sure.
whole thing.
But no, there's still some good talents out there. I mean, Wyatt Langford, our outfielder from Florida, probably the second best outfielder in this class. And then the top pitcher, Paul Skenes, same university as Dylan Cruz, also unowned. So yeah, Drue screen that he shared, number two, number three, unowned. So that will be a fun bid war for the
So
league
so
here.
one number one Dylan Cruz. I think pretty unanimous number one.
Yep,
Um, that's Max,
that's Max.
and then you're saying number two, number three are unknown. Walker Jenkins. Is that you, JD?
Nope, that is Perry,
Harry with Walker Jenkins. Okay,
the
Max
owner
Clark.
formerly known as Ryan.
Max Clark coming in at number five. I
That one's a
know.
laughy guy.
I know Laffy has him. I'm very jealous. I wish I had him.
Yep.
Dolander. That's Sean or Perry. Which one?
No, Joe.
That's Joe.
It's a
Wow.
Joe
Okay.
guy.
Jacob Gonzalez, that's Samoa,
Yep.
actually. Um, Jacob Wilson, I don't think
Unowned.
he's on. Okay, so 2, 3, and then 8 on down. There might be one or two more guys lower on the list, but so two of the top three picks that are going to be up for bid on MLB Draft Night.
Yep. And
A pitcher,
I think both of them
an outfield.
will be guaranteed to be top 100 guys once MLB does their new rankings.
I think the top seven. I think there's a
Top,
clear top seven in my mind.
top
I think the
seven.
top seven will all be top 100 guys.
Yeah.
Um, how much do you think Skeens and Langford are going to go for? For reference, Jackson Holiday went for 42, I believe, last year. And then the most expensive guy the year before that, I want to say went for like 40. Am
I
I
could
off?
s- I could see Skeens
20.
going for like 35 ish, and then Langford probably for at least 40.
Okay, so I just looked it up for reference. So Jackson Holiday went for 43 last year as the most expensive prospect from that draft class. That's 43. The year before that was Marcelo Meyer went for 42. So 42 and 43. And I think in the winter we saw Munetaka Murakami go for 46. So we will I think we will see bids going into the 40s, probably for Langford more than Skeens, just because 10 stop. I guess I'm with you. Skeen's probably about 35. People are saying he's the best prospect since Strasburg.
Yep.
Um, so a lot going on, and then we got it. We got the entire first round beneath these guys that you can't see it on the screen, but beneath Jacob Wilson, there's everyone is going to go in the first round to all of our favorite teams, right? Who's going to get the Rockies top guy? Is it going to be JD? Is it going to be Sean? I don't have Bam, but who's going to get the Cardinals first guy? Who's going to, we got some Reds fans. Um,
I mean, I'm probably guaranteed to get the Dodgers guy.
yeah, the Dodgers got obviously the Yankees and the Mets.
So it
Um,
should be a fun window. I could see BLD splurging, just saying, F everyone. I'm getting
he
Skeens.
really
I'm getting
should. Why
Langford.
not at this point?
And you guys can't compete with his 179 BAM.
He hasn't shown the proclivity to want to trade that Bam for like actual players. So why not just bust it out this year with the farm and be really good 3 years from now?
Yep.
Or at least maybe not good yet, but like be really exciting 3 years from now. Okay,
You you hearing my dog over here? Come here.
I'm not.
Come here.
I actually have hardly seen your audio procking during this podcast. So I'm really hoping that your audio is like actually recording.
I hope my audio is fine.
So 42 minutes. Hello, Noel. We're probably over what we wanted to do. So, is there anything else you want to talk about, or you want to hang it up here?
I don't know if there's anything else to talk about. And sorry to everyone for not really having a specific topic. We just kind of covered everything. Just kind of shooting it here on a Memorial Day. Here is Noel, my dog.
Yay. Okay.
So,
Well, we can wrap it up here. Thank you guys for listening. Be looking forward, just like we are, to the Perry, Bean, and Sean podcast. And yeah, and enjoy your Memorial Day. Hopefully, you guys all had good weekends, and good luck in all your matchups this week. And unless you're my division, then I hope you guys lose. All right.
all right.
See ya, everyone.
Adios.